Hello everybody and welcome back to the next scraping tutorial. In this one I would like to show you how we can use Selenium and Python in order to scrape tables and store the results in one Excel file. Actually, I've already created one video which is also related to scraping table elements, but in this specific tutorial I want to show you how we can use, for example, the Pandas Dataframe in order to take a look on the data until we save it in our last Excel file at the end. So I would say let's just jump into the project, and this one will be very straightforward. So first I want to use the Jupyter Notebook as our IDE for this project. So let me create just one new file. Let's name it as scraping_tables. And first and foremost, let's go ahead and initialize our WebDriver in order to be able to reach this page we want to scrape the data from. So let's import the WebDriver from the Selenium package. So let's go ahead and write down from Selenium import the WebDriver. This is the very first step. Let's run that, and now we can go ahead, provide this driver variable, and let's just initialize our WebDriver. Again, I want to work with Chrome, and inside this brackets here I need to provide the location where my Chrome driver path is actually stored. Let's do this, and don't forget the quotes in the beginning and at the end. And now our driver is initialized successfully, and we can go ahead and call the get function in order to be able to reach to this page. So 1 second, it was this window here. We want to get access to this home page. Let's do this. Back to our IDE, and let's paste our URL string inside this get function. Alright, so this is the next step, and afterwards let's, as always, maximize the window. And now let's start, run this code for the first time, and let's take a look if we have access to the table we want to get the data from. Okay, so everything is loading fine so far. Let's go ahead and let's say we want just to get access to these countries, to the population, the yearly change, and the world share. So we don't want to have the whole data which is inside this table, but just the 4 mentioned columns. Let's see how we can get access to this specific data, and we want to start with the countries. So right click and inspect, and now let's take a look how we can get access to the country elements. But first of all, before we start, I would also always recommend to start from the table point itself. So you see here we have this table tag, we have this ID attribute and this example2 value. Let's go ahead and build our XPath expression, and let's start with the table at ID equals to the value which I have just copied. This is the example2. And you see here, this is the unique element, which is representing this table. And this is actually our starting point. And now let's go ahead and traverse all the way down until we find the data we want to. So first, we want to go down to the T-body, because you can see here on the left side, inside this T-body is the entry of the first row. So let's go down for the T-body, and then in the next step we need to refer to the TR. So now we are here, so T-body, traverse down to TR. In the next step we want to get access to the second TD tag, because inside this TD tag you see that we can go down again, and then in this anchor tag we have finally the text element of the first country. Let's do this. So TR, then let's go to the second TD and to the anchor tag, and you see here that we have all in all 235 results. And if you scroll all the way down, you see that we have 235 countries. And now if we have this expression here, let's say you want to click down, and you see that here we have access to the countries. This is actually what we want. And now let's go ahead and store this expression inside one variable. But we can make everything a little bit easier. For example, if you remove the first part here, let's remove it, provide the double slash in the beginning, and you see here that we have exact the same results. So this expression is actually a little bit shorter than the previous one. Let's copy that one, go back to our Jupyter notebook. Let's provide one variable for the countries. So it's countries equals to driver dot find element by XPath, or actually it's elements because this is the list. So find elements by XPath. Let's provide the expression here. And well, actually, let's say I want to put this expression in this block and write down one short for loop, and let's see if we have access to all these countries. So let's say for country, for country in countries, let's print out country.text, and let's see if we have access to all these countries. Let's do this. Let's run this code, and you can see here that we have the text elements which are actually inside this expression here. So here we have every country element, and the same we want to do for the remaining columns we are looking for. Okay, so for now, let me just remove this one, and here let's go ahead and take a look how we can get access to this population. Actually, we don't need to change very much here. So we are again start with tbody, then we traverse down to this tr tag, and then in the next step let's go for the td. So maybe I can scroll a little bit up. So we started here from tbody, then we went down to tr, and then to the td tag, and now we don't want to go to the first one but to number 1, number 2, and number 3. We want to reach this td tag. That means we need to provide this 3 or number 3 inside the brackets here. And now let's take a look, and you see that we have access to the population. Okay, so let me just again copy this short expression, go back to the Jupyter notebook. Let's provide one variable, population equals to driver dot find elements by XPath, and provide the expression inside this brackets. Okay, great. The next requirement is to get access to the yearly change. That means let's just take a look how to get access to this. And now, as mentioned before, with this expression, we are at the third td tag, and we need to go to the next one, not to number 3 but to number 4. That means we just need to replace 3 with number 4, and voila, we have access to the yearly change. Actually, this is quite straightforward, quite simple. Copy this expression, go back to the Jupyter notebook, and now let's go and provide one new variable. Let's go for yearly change equals to driver dot find underscore elements by XPath. So it's elements, and inside this brackets let's provide our expression. And now we should be good to go again. And the last thing we want to get access to is the world share. Okay, so let's take a look how to get here and what kind of modification we need to do. So now we are located at TD number 4. And if we go all the way down until this last TD tag, you will see that we have access to the world share. So it's this one. So on the left side, you can see that this world share is marked, and that means this is actually, if this is number 4 when we have this yearly change, it's no, it's this one, right? This is the number 4. Then we go down to TD number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is actually what we want. So let's replace number 4 with number 13. And I guess it's not 13, it's, well, is it 12? Okay, so let's try the number 12. And okay, so this was my bad, sorry for that. This is actually TD tag number 12, and this is our expression we need to use. So copy that one, go back to the Jupyter notebook, and then let's provide our last variable. So it's the world share. So world share equals to driver.find elements by XPath. So let's scroll down a little bit. So this is the last one, yeah, by XPath. Paste your expression here, and now you have successfully grabbed the 4 entries. Alright, so the next step is actually that we want to loop through each and every list here in order to get the text elements of the countries, of the population, of the yearly change, and the world share. Let's take a look how we can do this. First, let's create one empty list, because afterwards we need to store our results inside this empty list. Let's go ahead and let's provide this variable here. So it's population underscore result equals to one empty list here. And then in the next step, let's write down our for loop, because again, we need to loop through the through this for lists here. So let's go ahead and write down for I in range, and let's take a look what the range actually is. So I've showed you before that we have 235 elements inside every list. And for example, let's just go ahead and grab the length. Let's say, for example, for the yearly change. And let's take a look what the number is. So length of yearly change is actually 235. And I can just write down for I in range 235, or I provide this expression here and we use this length function. I've just copied it. Let's paste it here, and this is actually our range. So let me just delete this this stuff here, and now let's start and loop through this list and append everything in one dictionary. Let's say this is the temporary data, because in the first step I want to show you the results in the Pandas Dataframe, and finally I want to save everything in one Excel file. Okay, so let's go ahead and loop through this list and append everything in one dictionary. So let's start with the country, and here what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get access to every element which is inside this country list. So go ahead and write down countries I.text, because we want to get access to the text elements. So sorry for that. So again, temporary data. No, this is actually not what I want to do. Sorry for that. So countries I.text, and I don't know why this is suggesting me always this crap here. So now we should be good to go. Okay, this is number 1. Then let's go ahead and write down the population. So in this dictionary, this is our key element here, and this is the value element, And now we will see in a few seconds how the results is actually looking like. So now let's go ahead and get access to the text elements which are inside this population list. This is number 2. Then number 3 is the yearly change. So let's provide this name here, yearly change equals to yearly change I dot text. And finally, in the last step, let's go for the world share. So world share, and then let's provide also the value element, which is world share I dot text. And now I guess we should be actually good to go. In the next step, we need to append everything inside this empty list which was created in this step here. Let's go ahead and do this. So let's go for population underscore result dot append temporary data. Let's take a look how this actually looks like. So first of all, let's run again the cell. This is number 1. And then in the next step, what we want to do, so you see this is loading right now. And in the next step, we want to append the results in a Pandas Dataframe. And now it's finished because you see we have the line 6 and we don't see this star anymore, which we have seen a few seconds ago, while this cell was actually executing. And in order to get access to the Pandas Dataframe, we need to import this Pandas library. So let's go ahead and write down import pandas as pd. Let's run the cell again. And now in the next step, what we actually want to do is we want to take a look on the results, but in the data frame of pandas. Let's do this. And let's just provide one variable here. Let's go for a data frame underscore data equals to pd. pd is actually the data frame. This is the alias for the pandas, right? Because here we have provided this pd alias for this package. So let's go ahead and write down pd dot, and now we need to get access to this data frame. And inside this data frame, we want to append this population underscore result, which was initially this empty list. Then in the next step, we appended the entries from this dictionary inside this empty list here. And I guess it will be a better idea to run the cell or run this snippet here, this line in the next cell, because if I run the cell again here, everything would load from the beginning, and we can just save some time if I put this in the next cell. Okay, so let's take a look how this is actually looking like. So let's run this, and then in the next step, let's just take a look how this is behaving. So again, and you see here that we have 235 results. This is actually what we want to have. We have 4 columns, and you see here country, population, yearly change, and the world share. Actually, this is exactly what we wanted to get. And now in the last step, let's append everything to the Excel file. This is actually quite simple. Let's go ahead and write down df underscore data dot to Excel. This is what we want to do. And here, let's just provide one name for the Excel file. Let's go ahead and write down population. Let's say population scraping underscore result dot xlsx. This is actually what we want to provide. And then let's go ahead and write down index equals to false, because we don't want to have this index elements in our Excel output file. And yeah, so let's run the cell and let's take a look on our final result. And you see here that this population underscore scraping underscore result XLSX file was created. Let's double click on this and let's take a look what we have. So now let's make everything a little bit more pretty. Let's click on format as table. Let's go for the red one and make sure you don't use this filter button. And now voila, as you can see here, we have our result for the tables. Okay, let's scroll down, make a cross check if we have all the entries, and we are here at line 236, and actually we started from line number 2, so we have our data of 235 rows, we have 4 columns, and yeah, this is actually the scraping tutorial, how we are able to scrape the tables using Selenium and Python. Alright, again guys, thank you very much for your time, for your attention, and I see you at one of the upcoming sections. Thank you very much, take care, and bye bye.